The Tortoise and the Hare. Once upon a time, there was a tortoise and a hare. The hare was very proud of his speed, and he liked to show off how fast he could run to everyone in the forest. The tortoise was slow but steady, and she always moved at her own pace. One day, the hare was making fun of the tortoise for being too slow.
"Have you ever reached your destination?"
he asked mockingly. The tortoise replied, "Actually, I'm faster than you might expect. I will challenge you to a race and prove it."
"Is this some kind of joke? You are so funny,"
said the hare.
"I will lap you several times before you cross the finish line. I have never lost a race,"
he bragged.
"In fact, I am so confident I challenge anyone here to race against me."
The tortoise said quietly, "I accept your challenge. Let's see if you can back up your words with action. Are you brave enough to race against me and prove your speed? If you are swift and quick on your feet, then winning should be an easy feat. Now, let's race." The hare thought it was hilarious to race against a slow-moving tortoise, and just for the sake of amusement, he agreed to the challenge.
"Sure,"
replied the hare. "Then, let's proceed," announced the tortoise. "And the fox will have the final say on who wins." So, a course was set for the next day. All the animals gathered to watch the race begin.
Fast and slow, swift and steady, which one will win with such glee? Only time will tell, so let's wait and see who will be the winner ultimately.
With the fox serving as the judge, the distance had been marked, and with the wave of the flag, the runners were set in motion and the race started. The fast hare took off in a flash. He darted almost out of sight at once. The tortoise, who moved slowly and steadily, trailed behind the hare as he sprinted ahead. With the intention of humiliating the tortoise and emphasizing how absurd it was for her to even attempt to race against him, the hare lay down beside the course to take a nap and wait for the tortoise to catch up, demonstrating how far behind she was and how hopeless her efforts were in trying to keep up with him.
"Why bother racing with me?"
the hare taunted the tortoise.
"I might as well eat dinner here waiting for you. At your pace, you won't arrive for a couple of days."
The hare leisurely took a nap, but the tortoise was too far behind to hear the hare's taunts. Meanwhile, the tortoise continued on her way, not giving up, despite being far behind the hare. She kept moving towards the finish line without stopping. So, the little tortoise kept on inching down the road, and, at last, the slow walker reached the sleeping hare. He was in such deep sleep that he was unaware of the tortoise passing cautiously and carefully by him. After a while, he woke up from his nap, only to realize that he had overslept, and to find that the determined tortoise was already far ahead of him, nearing the finish line. The sleepy hare quickly started running, but he could not pass the tortoise in time. With her perseverance, the tortoise eventually crossed the finish line first, surprising everyone who was watching the race. The hare was shocked to see that the tortoise had won. He realized that he had been too proud of his speed and had underestimated the determination and perseverance of the tortoise. He understood that the race is not always to the swift.
Slow and steady, yes, slow and steady is the one who claimed victory.
The Ugly Duckling. On a little farm, long ago, lived a cute duck family. Mommy Duck was sitting on her 7 eggs, waiting for her new ducklings to hatch. One sunny morning, the eggs began to hatch. One by one, yellow ducklings stepped out of their shells. They shook their wings with excitement. "Look at you! You are all so cute!" But one large egg was still in the nest. Well, It looks like that big egg will take more time. So, she had to go sit on her nest again and wait longer. At last, the largest egg hatched. With great confusion, the poor duckling began to look around. His mother and siblings were a bit more confused than he was, because this duck in particular did not look like his siblings. He was built much broader and had gray and white feathers.
What is that? He cannot be one of us.
I have never seen such an ugly duckling.
How can you say such a thing? That's not nice. Now line up. We will go to the lake for your very first swim. Yet the other ducklings quacked.
Ugly, ugly, ugly.
The ugly duckling did not know why the other ducklings were yelling at him. He took the last spot in line. Each yellow duck jumped in the river and swam behind Mama Duck. When it was his turn, the ugly duckling jumped in and started to paddle too. He was a great swimmer. Later on, each time the ugly duckling tried to play with his brothers and sisters, they yelled,
Go away. We will not play with you. You are ugly.
Time was passing, and the ugly duckling was growing up to be different. All the animals on the farm were bullying him.
Ugly duckling, ugly duckling, ugly duckling.
Mother Duck, on the other hand, was doing her best to protect him. She couldn't bear to see that poor child so sad. But as the days passed, the poor ugly duckling was feeling worse. All night long he would silently cry.
Just because I am ugly doesn't mean everyone has to be mean. No one wants to play with me or even talk to me.
One day, one of the yellow ducklings said to the ugly duckling,
You know what? You would do us all a big favor if you leave.
Get out, get out, get out.
They're right. I should go.
That night, the ugly duckling flew over the farmyard fence and landed on the other side of the lake. There, he met two grown-up ducks.
Can I please stay here for a while? I have nowhere else to go.
What do we care? Just don't get in our way. Suddenly, a big hungry dog came chasing the two ducks. They quickly flew up in the air. The poor ugly duckling froze in fear. The dog sniffed and sniffed at the ugly duckling, then turned away.
I am even too ugly for the big hungry dog.
Ugly Duckling began to move along. Soon after, an empty lake appeared.
Well then, if nobody wants me, I will hide here forever.
Even though he was all alone, he was very happy. One day, he saw a horde of white long-necked birds migrating to the south. How beautiful they are! I wish I could be like them. Winter came and snow began to fall, so it was hard to find food. Cold and tired, trying to forage, the ugly duckling came across a farmer. Poor thing, you must be freezing. I'll take you home and look after you till you grow. Indeed, the farmer took good care of the ugly duckling. When spring arrived, the ugly duckling had grown. The farmer took him back to the lake to give him more space to move around freely. The ugly duckling looked at his reflection in the water, but he was amazed at what he saw. At first, he couldn't recognize himself. He thought there was someone else behind him. So he flipped his wings and noticed that his reflection was doing the same thing. He stretched out his neck, and his reflection continued to mirror his movements. Right then, he knew that this amazing bird was no one other than himself.
Oh, how much I've changed! I look like the birds in the sky.
While he was swimming in the lake, he came across a wedge of swans. They took him along and traveled joyfully together. Finally, the ugly little thing was accepted and loved by his new friends, to whom he belonged. A boy at the lakeshore yelled out to his friends,
Hey, look at the young one all the way back. Must be the most beautiful swan I've seen.
The swan did not know how to react to so much praise. He felt shy. After being mocked for so long, he couldn't believe he was being appreciated and accepted.
I've never dreamt someone would call me beautiful someday. I wish I had received the same affection when I was the little and ugly creature. I wouldn't have spent such a sad childhood. Why do people treat others according to their looks? That is so sad.
Yes, from the beginning, he indeed was a swan. He was just an unfortunate egg, which got mixed up in between the ducks. But now, he was with his real family, and ahead of him was a happy life. The Monkey and the Crocodile. Once upon a time, in a big forest with towering trees and a sparkling river, lived an old crocodile. He was big, but not as strong as he used to be, and couldn't hunt anymore. One sunny day, he went to the river, hoping for a meal, but the fish kept slipping away. Drained and discouraged, he rested under a tree. A monkey in the branches was eating juicy berries. The crocodile, smelling the delicious scent, asked,
"Oh dear, monkey, those berries look delicious. May I have some, please? I'm very hungry."
"Of course. Here, have some." The kind monkey shared his berries.
"Thank you, my savior. I was very hungry and you helped me. I'm grateful to you."
I live in this tree. Whenever you're hungry, come here, and I'll give you the best berries I find.
From that day, the crocodile and the monkey became best friends. Every day, the monkey gave the crocodile berries. They had fun together. Sometimes the crocodile played near the tree, and sometimes the monkey rode on the crocodile's back around the river. One day, the crocodile asked the monkey for berries to take to his wife. The monkey gave him some, which the crocodile took to his wife across the river.
"Darling, look what I've got for you. Sweet berries from my friend the monkey."
Oh, wow! These berries are very sweet indeed. But honey, how long will you survive on berries? Just think, if these berries are so sweet, and that monkey eats them every day, then how sweet the monkey's heart must be.
"Yes, he is very nice. He eats the berries and shares them with me."
Actually, I was thinking differently. I haven't tasted meat in a long time. Can you get me his heart?
"How can I do this to my friend? If I give you his heart, he will die."
And if you don't do that, I will die. I'm too sick and dying from malnutrition.
The crocodile felt sad. He didn't want to betray his friend, but didn't want his wife to go hungry either. Feeling torn, the crocodile asked the monkey to come home with him.
"Dear monkey, would you like to come to my house for lunch? My wife would love to thank you for the berries."
Excited, the monkey agreed. On the way, he asked eagerly,
What is your wife going to cook for us?
You love bananas, right? She will make banana bread and cookies for you.
Oh, how delightful! There is going to be a feast today.
Seeing his friend's happiness, and knowing that the monkey could not escape anymore, the crocodile decided to confess his wife's intentions.
"Oh, dear monkey, my wife wants to eat your heart. Please forgive me, but if she doesn't eat it, she will die."
This worried the monkey a lot, but he quickly realized the situation and came up with a plan.
Yes, sure. But why didn't you tell me earlier? We monkeys keep our hearts on the tree. We must go back to get it.
The crocodile agreed, regretting his oversight. Once they reached the tree, the monkey climbed to safety and scolded him.
You foolish crocodile! Can anyone keep their heart out and stay alive? I helped you as a friend, and you betrayed me. Now you will neither get my heart nor any more berries. Go away!
The monkey used his intelligence to save his life. He was scared, but acted smartly and faced the challenge. Meanwhile, the betraying crocodile lost everything, his great friend, and the sweet berries.
The Lion and the Mouse.
Once upon a time, in a dense and sprawling jungle,
there lived a mighty lion named Leo. Leo was revered by all the animals in the jungle for his strength and power. However, he was often aloof and didn't bother to befriend the smaller creatures around him. One day, tired from hunting all morning, Leo lay asleep in the forest, under a large shady tree, his great head resting on his paws. Some mice that lived at the foot of the tree scrambled over the sleeping lion to return to their home, but just as the last timid little mouse, Mia, was crawling over him, and in her fright and haste to get away, she accidentally ran across the lion's nose. The lion woke up with a roar. Roused from his nap, Leo was startled and annoyed. He laid his huge paw angrily on the tiny creature, trapping her and aiming to kill her.
You woke me up,
he roared. The mouse was frightened. She apologized to the lion for disturbing him, and trembling, but with a hint of bravery in her voice, she squeaked,
Almighty Leo, please spare my life. I'm just a small and insignificant mouse. If you let me go, I promise I'll be forever grateful to you. And someday, I will surely repay you.
The lion was amused by the thought that a mouse could ever help him.
You are funny. How could a mouse help a lion?
Curious and intrigued, Leo chuckled at the thought of a tiny mouse ever being able to help him, the king of the jungle. But he pitied the little poor mouse and generously decided to release her. He lifted his paw and finally set the mouse free.
I'll let you go, just because you made me laugh.
Some time passed, and one day, while stalking his prey in the forest, Leo accidentally stepped on a trap. A net made of thick ropes captured the lion and pulled him up into a tree. He was caught in the toils of a hunter's net. The lion struggled to free himself, but could not. He filled the forest with his angry roaring. Several animals ran to help the lion. They struggled to break him free, but only ended up making him entangled further and further. It seemed like there was no escape. Leo's mighty roars rumbled through the forest and echoed through the jungle as he became upset and afraid. Mia, the same mouse he had spared, heard Leo's distress calls and knew the voice. Remembering the lion's kindness, the mouse didn't hesitate and ran quickly to the lion's aid. She sprinted to the tree to find Leo struggling in the net, surrounded by different animals trying in vain to help him.
Let me pass.
If we couldn't help, how will you be able to do so, small little thing? Mia ignored all the comments and climbed up to the trap. With her sharp little mouse teeth, she gnawed at the great ropes of the net that bound Leo. Tirelessly working, she continued chewing the thick ropes, bit by bit, until Leo was finally free.
You laughed when I said I would repay you. Now you see that even a mouse can help a lion.
Leo was astonished and profoundly grateful to the little mouse who had once been at his mercy. He realized that kindness and help could come from the most unexpected places and the smallest of creatures. From that day forward, Leo and Mia formed an unlikely friendship, and the lion learned that might wasn't the only source of strength. It was obvious for both of them now that no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. They understood the value of compassion and friendship, regardless of someone's size or appearance. Good deeds are always rewarded.